Okay, so welcome back. In the last video, we looked at creating the lemon, and we worked our way through creating the lemon, creating the segments, creating the outer edge, putting the leaves in, etc., etc., till we ended up with a grouped object that is scalable, which is here. I've moved the melon from here to here because we're going to use the melon as reference. So just like this one's a cut through, I'm going to do a cut through of the melon. This one probably won't be as difficult. It probably looks more complicated, but it's actually I think it's probably going to be a little bit easier than the lemon. So let's get into that one. So let's move across so we can just see the melon. So the melon is pretty much a circle. I know if you were to look at a melon, it probably wouldn't be a circle, but we're doing things simply. So as the old adage, KISS, keep it simple, stupid, always works well when you're doing illustrations and graphics. The more complicated you make it, sometimes the worse it looks. So we're going to start off with a circle. And then what we're going to do is going to cut it in half to make a semicircle. So the easiest way to do that is, well, let's have a think. Now we could click on this point here and go, oh, do you know what, Pete? Let's click on that point there and then let's delete it. But you don't really get a semicircle because you get the leftover points from the circle here. And they go, oh, well, we could get rid of those. So let's just like bring those down like that and bring those down like that. And yes, you've got a semicircle. But it's a bit of a faff. So let's instead, why not, let's just draw a rectangle over the top that comes down to the center. And then just select both and then just use our Pathfinder to punch the top from the bottom. Ta-da! So much easier, isn't it? A lot easier. So we know we can create that. So we need to back up a little bit though first. So let's just go back. We need to think about what we're creating. We need to think about what we've got before we start building. Because it's much easier to think about it before and then do it all in one go. So we've got a red bit. We've got then a sort of like a fleshy, creamy bit here. And then we've got an outer edge, which is green. Now, if I was to start off with just one circle and then punch it out and then start building, it might be difficult to get the shapes right. And although I could do that and you could do that, but I know from history that it's easier to do the way I'm going to do it. So it's easier for me to do as a whole watermelon and then cut it in half than it is to cut it in half and then make the bits out of what's left over. So I'm still going to use this circle, this rectangle eventually, but we're going to start with circle. So we're going to add some more circles. So we're going to copy it. So we're going to go Control C, but this time instead of Control V, we're going to Control F, which is paste it in place. So it's basically put a circle on top of a circle. So we can go Edit, Paste in Place. Should be able to say paste. See paste in place there. Oh, so paste in front is Control F. Sorry, paste in front. You can actually paste behind, which is Control B. So I've got one. So then I'm just going to hold Alt and Shift down. I've remembered that from the last video, and make this the fleshy bit. So now we've got two circles. Now you can't see them because one's on top of the other. The bigger one's on covering the little one. But if we look in the outline mode, you'll see that we've got two circles. So what that means now is that we've got something that can be red, and then an outer edge that can be, we can have this bit which can be cream, and then we can make the outer edge of that green. So let's add another circle. So Control C, Control F, and then Alt Shift, and we're just going to make that a little bit bigger because it's going to be, oh, it's done both of them, didn't want to do that. So sometimes this happens, so we don't want too many circles. So let's object to arrange center back. So we might have too many circles, there we go. Back to just two circles again. So get that one, Control C, Control F, and then Alt Shift, and make that a little bit bigger. So we've now got three circles. That one, and that one. Okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to position this over the top of that. So we'll do it in outline mode because we'll be able to see where the center is. So that's the center, that's going through the center. It's a little bit low, but it's better to be a little bit low than a little bit high. The reason being is because these have got points. You see the points? Click on that. There, and there. If you go a little bit high, you'll have the point below the cut point, which means you end up with a little skinny little bit here, a little skinny bit here. So you're better off just being a little bit below the center than you are being above it. So view, preview. So select them both, or select them all. And this time we don't do intersect or minus front, we do divide. And then we go object, ungroup, and then we can select all those bits at the top and delete. Now we're left with that. And now you're going to be, oh yes, I can see why you've done that now, Pete, because now you can literally just see all the parts. They're all there. So if we want to colour this, let's go for some colours that, let's do a different way of colouring. So last time we used the swatches, but what you can do is you can also reference the images. So if you select this bit here, which is the fleshy bit, we can click on the eyedropper tool and just select that colour from inside there. So you can, whichever one you click on, it will select it. So let's find a nice tone. That's a nice tone. And then again, this bit, eyedropper. And then we'll leave this bit. This bit looks okay. It looks like a nice colour. So that's looking like a watermelon. That's looking pretty good. We still need to do the seeds though. So let's have a look at the seeds. So the seeds look like funny, like water droplet type shapes. So let's create some water droplet type shapes here. So let's just go to the circle and draw a shape. It's retained the colour from the last shape we created, so that's the reason why it's there. We want them black, so let's put that in black. And we're going to create a teardrop by just dragging this top point up, like so. So it's given us like a teardrop shape. Now we're just going to group all this together because, actually I haven't grouped it, just so that when we start moving things about, it's much easier to move things backwards and forwards. So group. And then what we're going to do is going to put this in position. So let's just bring this down in scale. So scaling is just shift and drag, and then get it to a sort of like a good size. Probably a little bit smaller than that. About there. Okay. So let's just create some more of these. So if I move it to one side, we're going to have a row of them, and then we're going to position them. So Control C copies it. Control F pastes it in front. And then if we zoom in and move it, we can then do Control C, Control F, Control D, and it will duplicate the position. So Control C, Control F, Control D. How many we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 8. So let's just position them now. So one up here, then down. So they're not sort of like particularly placed in specific places. So once you get them roughly in the place, you can then rotate them round, because they are pips, so they're not going to be perfect. There would be a way of doing this perfectly, but in all honesty, I know we said keep it simple, but you want to keep it a little bit realistic. And I don't think we need like that. We don't think we need that one. I think we've got too many. So let's just bring those in like that and just space them out a little bit. Like so. And just faff around with that until I'm happy with that. And you can make the other one a bit smaller if you want to. Again, they don't have to be all the same size. Add a little bit of dimension to it. That looks alright. So, I'm thinking that that's kind of like done. I think I just need to move that one little one a little bit further in a little bit. Let's just move that there. Let's rotate that one around a little bit more. You'll find this, once you start going with Illustrator, you'll just faff around all day long. Just tweaking little things here and there. A design is never done until you spent at least 4 days tweaking it. There we go. Okay. There you tweak it again. And tweak it again. Stop, Pete, stop. Right, okay. So I'm happy with that. So that's taken a lot less time. Certainly much quicker than doing the lemon. So let's just group all that together. Object group. And then copy and paste. Copy and paste. And then we can scale that down. And we've got our melon. Now if you want to change anything, if you want to change the colours and it's grouped, you can use the direct selection tool to just select the bit you want. So as you can see, that one's that colour. So if you want to change that colour a little bit, make it a little bit darker, you can just adjust it here. You can see the colour is changing here. So you can go for a slightly different colour if you want. Once it's grouped, and you use the direct selection tool and you coloured it, you'd end up with the same, you'd colour everything the same colour. So if you want to colour the separate things once it's grouped, just use the direct selection tool, select the things you want to colour and just change them that way. Okay, so we'll end that video there, and in the next video we're going to show you how to turn these into patterns.